Hi, welcome to the bathtub. Happy 2022. Don't notice say a single word, and then as soon as I start the tape, she starts chirping. We decided the last episode, by the way, that she may be a girl, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Anyway, this is Scott Bradfield, the master bather. I masturbated all the way through since adolescence. I'm going to masturbate all the way into 2022, and I hope you'll be masturbating with me. Don't tell your mother. Don't tell anybody else that what we're doing in here is just simply wasting our time in the bathtub. So we have a theme show. I'm doing a few episodes quickly because I've fallen behind because my computer's melted down again and I had to get a new laptop. Cheers. And that's our masturbating accomplice, the Manhattan, our preferred beverage when whittering on aimlessly about books. The next episode is going to be this one is going to be one of those theme shows we do. We have a theme show called Nay and Yay. Now we have several theme shows. They're all exactly the same. One is like if you like Sherlock Holmes, you might really like Solar Ponds. Let's say. We also have Nay and Yay, which is if you so and so is we don't like so and so. I hate Norman Mailer. Richard Yates is great. So we might try to compare somebody who's overrated and someone who's underrated. It's our most negative show. We don't usually like to do negativity here in the bathtub. If you like Stephen King, you please have a great time with Stephen King, and we respect him for giving you pleasure in the bathtub. We did I think we did a no Stephen King, yes Ted Klein years ago. Today we're going to do one. Again, these are people. Also, I do these so see how many people get really upset because they always write me really annoyed emails about Jack Kerouac. Some guys, I got a lot of idiot academics telling me I was an idiot because I didn't like Jack Kerouac, who I do hate Jack Kerouac. Anyway, today, nay, Alan Moore's The Watchmen. I'm sure I'm going to get some hate mail on this. Nay, I'm sorry, I'm not an Alan Moore or a Watchmen fan. And on the opposite of that, that's just I only have it on Kindle. The opposite of that is yay, Will Eisner's The Spirit. Will Eisner, you may not know who Will Eisner is. He was out in the 50s. He used to write these 7 and 8 page color comics, I think for a Chicago newspaper. I forget all my information by the time I start these. And they've been collected recently in these incredible, I started picking these up about 8 or 10, 12 years ago. DC Comics is doing The Complete Spirit by Will Eisner. I mean, just look at that cover. I can't do justice on my laptop. They were very famous for having these incredible opening shots. You get them in the next one more. Let me move this. This one has a lot of them. This is volume 2, which is what I'm just finishing reading now. And most of these have the great opening page. The first page of the comic would always be these extraordinary opening images. And he was known as, and he always played around a lot with his format. So this one's told in this style of a poem, I believe. I haven't read this one yet, like the Ballad of the Spirit. And the comics have there's a lot of shots like this. He's really influenced by film noir stuff. See the big window, big mirror. And there's lots of angles, weird. One of his favorite movies was Citizen Kane, and you can it's almost like watching Citizen Kane in a comic book when you read this. The way he does these huge angles, these really over the top stuff. Anyway, quite simply, I mean, I don't like Watchmen, and I love The Spirit. I read these all the time, and look at that! Just even the cover's cool, isn't it? I think that's The Spirit dressed up as one of his many disguises. When I first read The Watchmen, I must have read it several times now because I figured I must have missed something. I read it when it first came out as a volume. It would be like in the mid to late 80s. And it was originally as individual comics, and then, of course, later, it was one of the first so-called graphic novels. It came out as one volume. And I remember going to a friend's house when it first came out and sitting down and saying, I haven't read comics in years, and I started reading it. And I said, this doesn't seem much different from most comics. It didn't seem that. It was very dark and very black, obviously, and the superheroes were bad guys and awful and terrible people. But it still had this picture of this world, this urban world where there's, everything is falling apart. There's no reason for anything, and everything's a matter of crime. Even when they talk about Vietnam, they don't really talk about what was really going on in Vietnam. It's just like this sort of evil thing happening in the world, and these guys. And I just didn't. I've never liked the Watchmen. Anyway, I read it a few times over the years. I couldn't finish it the first time I read it. A few years ago, I actually read it all the way through and thought it was okay. It was sort of interesting, and the artist was pretty good. Alan Moore's okay, I guess. I did like something of Alan Moore's, but I can't remember what it was. And then I saw the movie. I did a piece about comics for the New Republic just a few weeks ago, and I'll put a link to it below here. And it just took itself so seriously. And I'll just finish up by saying one of the things I love about the Spirit is he wasn't a superhero. The whole gimmick of the Spirit for Will Eisner is he was a cop, I think, and they think they killed him. Some gangsters try to kill him, and they think he's dead. And he says, "Well, I'm going to pretend I'm the ghost of myself." And he goes to live in Wildwood Cemetery. He has a sidekick named Ebony White. I'm sorry, he eventually got rid of this, which is one of these kind of the black kid caricatures, which caused him a lot of loss in his reputation, and he eventually got rid of that character. But Ebony was actually he was a good character. He was a cool character, actually. He was really kind of a very capable, smart kid who's always helping the Spirit. But because of the racial things, he eventually was discontinued from the series. This is just random shots. Look at all these shots from the windows and so forth. They don't take themselves seriously. That's all I really wanted to say about why I love these. He never takes himself seriously. Everything is kind of a joke. It's not like crime is this horrible. Look at this. Every episode has got these beautiful shots. Has got like kind of little experiments in how to tell a story. He's visually inventive all the time. There's one very funny one. I don't know where I put it, where there's a bunch of people who want to be the Spirit. So it starts off with three guys dressing up like this, trying to be the Spirit. One guy's like a little short, fat guy. One guy's a super skinny guy. Here it is. This is where all these different guys, including Inspector Dolan, dresses up, and they're all trying to take over for the Spirit. Look at it. Great shots. Great composition of the characters. Anyway, if you haven't read The Spirit, these are, I guess a lot of famous, I don't know enough about the history of The Spirit. A lot of famous comic artists like Wally Wood came out of here. And look at that. Just look at that beautiful shot. Not a single frame of The Watchmen is that inventive and that beautiful. And they were like 7 or 8 pages. They're comical stories. They don't take the notion of the crime fighting too super seriously. Everything's a bit of a joke. And he's also possibly the most sexual hero I can think of in comic books. In every other comic book, sex is like the Watchmen's kind of this sort of seedy thing, or it's something that doesn't even happen in the Fantastic Four. But in this, they're kind of a natural animal attraction between the Spirit and various of the femme fatales he deals with. Eisner could draw really weird-looking characters and kind of beautiful characters at the same time. I strongly recommend it. Anyway, that's a very quick episode on why I like The Spirit. I'll put a link to my thing on comic books and some of my general, something I love. I love comic books all my life, and I've kind of as we watch the world turn into a comic book, I'm less and less attracted to them. Okay, happy bathing. We're going to do one more of these tonight. I'm going to save this Manhattan, and we're going to do one more special episode, which is going to be called a group project. I have a group project for all those bathers out there. Okay, happy bathing. Take care. Bye.